Avery zoomed around the corner on a shiny red bicycle, sandy brown hair streaming behind like a banner, hazel eyes wide with the thrill of speed. The new bike gleamed in the morning sun, its chrome handlebars catching the light. A purple T-shirt with a rocket ship design flapped in the breeze, and green shorts revealed scraped knees from yesterday's skateboarding attempt. "Watch this!" came the shout as the bike tilted into a perfect turn around the mailbox. The garage door stood open, revealing Dad's workshop, where sawdust danced in golden beams of light. He looked up from sanding a wooden birdhouse, safety goggles pushed up on his forehead. "Looking good out there," Dad called, setting down his sandpaper. "How does the new bike feel?" "Amazing. It's so much faster than my old one." The bike skidded to a stop, leaving a small mark on the driveway. "Can I ride to the park?" "Sure, but remember what we practiced. Stay on the sidewalk and watch for cars at every driveway." "I know, Dad." The words tumbled out eagerly. "Maya said she'd meet me there with her skateboard. She's going to teach me how to do an ollie." Dad smiled, brushing sawdust from his work apron. "Just be careful. And be home by lunch, okay?" The park wasn't far, just 3 blocks of tree-lined sidewalk. Pedaling felt different on this bigger bike. The handlebars stretched wider, the seat perched higher. Everything looked different from up here, like being on a gentle giant's shoulders. Maya waited by the playground, her skateboard tucked under one arm. Her black braids were tied back with bright yellow bands that matched her sneakers. "Finally." "I've been practicing all morning." She dropped her board with a clatter. "Want to see my new trick?" "In a minute. Look at my new bike first." Maya walked around it slowly, like an art critic at a museum. "The color's cool. Very race car." "Want to try it?" "Maybe later. Come on, I'll show you the basics of skateboarding." Maya demonstrated, her feet moving in a fluid motion that made the board pop up into her waiting hand. "See? It's all about the timing." For the next hour, the skateboard became a patient teacher. "Stand here, shift weight there, bend knees like this." The board flew out from under wobbly feet more times than anyone counted, but each attempt felt a tiny bit closer to success. "I think I almost had it that time." "You're getting better," Maya agreed, taking a long drink from her water bottle. "Hey, want to see something cool? There's a new bike ramp behind the tennis courts. Some older kids built it yesterday." The ramp stood about 3 feet high, made of plywood and looking very official despite its handmade construction. Several kids were taking turns launching their bikes off it, landing with triumphant whoops. "Whoa!" The word came out as a whisper. "I know, right? Tommy said he got 2 feet of air yesterday." Maya pointed to a boy in a red helmet who was lining up for another run. The bike suddenly felt very heavy. That ramp looked much bigger up close than it had from across the park, but everyone else made it look so easy, so natural, like flying was something bikes were meant to do. "You should try it," Maya suggested. "Your new bike will be perfect." "I don't know." "Come on, you were just getting brave on my skateboard. This is basically the same thing, but with wheels that stay attached." She grinned. "Unless you're scared." The word scared hung in the air like a challenge. Of course there was no fear here. This was just being sensible. Dad always said to master the basics before trying tricks, but the other kids kept sailing off that ramp like it was nothing. "I'll try it," the words tumbled out before second thoughts could stop them. "Just once." The ride to the ramp felt both too long and too short. Other kids cleared a path, watching with interest. Someone new was about to join their ramp club. "Remember to pedal hard," Tommy called out helpfully. "Speed is your friend." Speed was definitely not feeling friendly right now. The pedals turned faster, faster, the ramp rushing up like a wooden wave. At the last second, panic won. The brakes squealed, the front wheel hit the ramp at an angle, and suddenly the world turned sideways. The crash wasn't terrible, more embarrassing and painful. Knees met ground, palms scraped against pavement, but nothing worse than the skateboard falls from earlier. It was the bike that suffered more. The front wheel sat at an odd angle, no longer quite round. The handlebars had twisted in the fall, and a long scratch ran down the red frame like a scar. "Oh no!" The words came out small and scared. Maya rushed over. "Are you okay?" "I'm fine, but look at my bike." Tears threatened to spill. This beautiful new bike, trusted by Dad just this morning, now sat broken and sad-looking. "Maybe it's not that bad," Maya said hopefully, but her face suggested otherwise. "Can you ride it home?" The wheel wobbled terribly when pushed. Riding was impossible. The walk home stretched ahead like a marathon, made longer by the weight of what would have to be explained. "You could say someone crashed into you," Maya suggested as they walked, her skateboard tucked sympathetically under her arm, like some big kid wasn't watching where they were going. The lie sounded so easy, so tempting. Dad would be upset either way, but maybe less upset if it wasn't anyone's fault. "Or you hit a pothole," Maya continued, warming to her theme. "There's that big one on Oak Street." Each suggestion made the knot in the stomach grow tighter. Dad's face kept appearing in memory, proud and trusting as he watched the first rides on the new bike this morning. The house appeared too soon. Dad's workshop sounds drifted from the garage, the rhythmic scrape of sandpaper, the cheerful whistle he always made while working. "Good luck," Maya said quietly, then skateboarded away quickly like someone escaping a crime scene. Avery stood at the end of the driveway, broken bike leaning heavily to one side, trying to summon courage that felt as bent as that front wheel. Dad looked up at the sound of footsteps. His whistle died mid-note when he saw the bike. "What happened?" He rushed over, work forgotten. "Are you hurt?" "I'm okay." The words came out thick. "But the bike—" Dad knelt beside the twisted wheel, his hands gentle as they examined the damage. "This is quite a bend. How did this happen?" The moment stretched like taffy. Maya's suggestions echoed. "Crashed in the pothole, not your fault." Such easy words that would make this all simpler. But then Dad looked up at those patient eyes, sawdust still in his hair, and the truth tumbled out like water breaking through a dam. "There was a ramp at the park, and everyone was jumping off it, and it looked so easy, and Maya said I should try it, but I got scared at the last second and hit the brakes and crashed, and I'm so sorry. I know you just got me this bike, and I promised to be careful." "Whoa, slow down." Dad's hand rested gently on her shaking shoulder. "Take a breath." The breath came out shaky. "Are you really mad?" Dad was quiet for a moment, still examining the wheel. "I'm not thrilled about the bike," he said finally. "This is going to need some serious repair. But I'm glad you told me the truth." "You are?" "Mm-hmm." He stood, brushing off his knees. "Want to know a secret? When I was about your age, I broke my dad's fishing rod trying to cast it like I'd seen on TV. Snapped it right in half." "What did you do?" "I buried the pieces in the backyard and told him someone stole it." Dad shook his head at the memory. "He found the pieces a week later when he was gardening. I got in way more trouble for lying than I would have for breaking it." The knot in the stomach loosened slightly. "So you're not mad?" "I'm disappointed you tried something dangerous without proper preparation. We'll need to talk about that." His voice stayed calm but serious. "But I'm proud you told me the truth. That took courage." "It was really scary. The ramp, I mean, but also telling you." Dad wheeled the bike into the garage. Most worthwhile things are scary at first. The trick is preparing properly and taking things step by step. "Want to help me fix this?" "Really? You'll teach me?" "Of course. Consider it your first bike maintenance lesson." He pulled out his toolbox. "Though first, let's talk about ramp safety. If you want to learn to jump properly, we'll do it right. Deal?" "Deal." The word burst out with relief. The afternoon dissolved into the pleasant rhythm of workshop sounds. Dad explained each tool, each step of straightening the wheel. His hands guided smaller ones in tightening bolts and adjusting spokes. See how this works? The spokes create tension that keeps the wheel round. Like a spider web? Exactly like a spider web. Very good analogy. Dad smiled. You know, fixing mistakes is an important skill, too. Sometimes more important than getting things right the first time. The wheel slowly returned to something approaching round. Not perfect. There would always be a slight wobble as a reminder, but rideable again. Can I ask you something? The question came while cleaning grease off fingers with an old rag. Shoot. Were you scared the first time you tried something really hard? Dad laughed. Worried. First time I used a power saw, my hand shook so bad I could barely hold it steady. But my dad stood right beside me, just like I'm here with you. Did you get good at it? Look around this workshop. What do you think? He gestured at the shelves lined with his handmade projects. Everything takes practice. Even being honest when you've made a mistake. The late afternoon sun slanted through the garage door as they wheeled the repaired bike outside. It rolled smoothly, just that tiny wobble marking its adventure. Want to take it for a test ride? The bike felt different now, not just because of the repair, but because of everything else. The handlebars knew the weight of a hard, true toad. The pedals remembered the courage it took to speak up. Dad? The bike paused at the end of the driveway. Thanks for not being too mad, and for teaching me to fix it. That's what we do, Dad said simply. We make mistakes, we own up to them, and we learn. That's how we grow. The evening ride felt perfect despite the wobble. Maya appeared on her skateboard as if summoned by telepathy. How'd it go? Are you grounded forever? Nope. Dad taught me to fix it. Look! The bike made a triumphant circle. He says if I want to learn ramp jumping, he'll help me do it safely. Seriously? Your dad's cool. Maya attempted another ollie, landing it perfectly this time. My mom just tells me to be careful and then covers her eyes. They practiced in the driveway until dinner smells drifted from houses. Maya worked on increasingly complex skateboard tricks while patient attempts at wheelies filled the spaces between. You know what? Maya said during a water break. I'm glad you told the truth. I felt weird about the lying ideas anyway. Really? Yeah. My stomach felt all twisted just thinking about it. She demonstrated another perfect ollie. Besides, now you get to learn bike repair and ramp jumping. That's way cooler than just getting in trouble. The sun painted everything golden as the day wound down. Dad appeared in the doorway, wiping his hands on his apron. Dinner in 5 minutes. Coming. The bike and skateboard made their final runs of the day. At dinner, the story came out again, this time with less fear and more excitement about future lessons. Mom listened with that expression parents get when they're proud, but trying not to show it too much. Sounds like everyone learned something today, she said, passing the green beans. I learned that wheels are like spider webs, came the eager response, and that Dad broke Grandpa's fishing rod once. Oh, he did he? Mom gave Dad a look. I don't think I knew that story. Dad cleared his throat. Ancient history. The important thing is learning from our mistakes. And telling the truth even when it's scary, added a voice growing more confident with each word. Especially then, Dad agreed. Later, getting ready for bed, the day's events played like a movie. The crash felt less terrible now, more like a step in learning something important. The bike waited in the garage, its wobble a badge of honor rather than shame. Tomorrow would bring new chances to practice in worchies, skateboard ollies with Maya, maybe some careful wheelie attempts. Definitely more time in Dad's workshop learning about tools and fixes. But tonight the pillow felt extra soft under a head that had carried a heavy secret and chosen to let it go. The truth hadn't been easy, but it had led to something better than any lie could have. Through the window, stars began their nightly appearance. Somewhere in the garage, a red bike with a telltale wobble stood ready for tomorrow's adventures, honest and true.